I think it's very important. I think the problem that we often have is we take an idea that makes sense and that works in a certain context, and we bring it to another environment with a completely different set of requirements and contexts, and that doesn't work. So we have to modify ideas we have to modify ideas as a result of the environment and of circumstances. Let's take microcredit, for example. It made a lot of sense in Bangladesh because there were people who were the money sharks, the loan sharks, that were providing loans to poor people. Small amounts, $5, $10, $50 equivalent. $50 would be considered a very big loan at exorbitant interest. So these people could never get out of the trap. And Melo Antunes had the idea of providing that with loans. And he first went to banks to ask for money, and the banks said, no, these people are not credit worthy. And he then set up the bank with his own money and found out that these people actually were very credit worthy, and he transformed society. Now this is Bangladesh. If we take the same concept to a city like Lisbon, for example, where the circumstances are very different. First of all, people are much more spoiled. They're much more used to having money. They're much more used to either getting the money from the government or getting money from the banks, or, it's a completely different environment. So the application of the people in getting those loans might not be the same. They may not be as hardworking. They may not be, first of all, they weren't starving as much. So the circumstances are very different. So I think that the opportunity to challenge with communities is not so much to provide them with small loans to do uninteresting things, but to provide them with loans to transform the way things are being done. For example, if a group of individuals have an idea of setting up a business to provide services to old people, old people in major societies and cities are very often just put aside. Maybe they are put into nursing homes, or if they can't take care of themselves, they're put into nursing homes. And the idea is, well, if you put the person to a nursing home, the individual is unhappy, and it costs the government a lot of money. And the person doesn't really get good services either. It's not a happy situation. If a person has a home that is relatively comfortable, where the person is very happy to stay in, why not have people provide the services, bring the food, do the shopping, come over to make sure things are okay, help the person pay the bills, provide the person with some company even. And it might, at the end of the day, cost the community less than to put this person in a nursing home, and yet it provides jobs, it provides a community interaction that you might not have otherwise. So these are the kind of things I think that social innovation, and rather than calling it microfinance, I would call that, social enterprises. Mm-hmm. And these investments help transform the community interaction. It helps give dynamism, to the community. It helps get the people together. And it reduces, hopefully, the isolation. So I think that this is really, it goes beyond finance. It goes into what type of society have we become? Is it a society where people are very alienated? Does it make sense to put the old people into nursing homes if it's possible to have them stay at home under a different kind of setup? Does it make sense, for example, to have all the nursing homes in one area, all the old folks home in one area, and all the schools in another area? There are now developments that are taking place whereby they will build a home for old people together with the school, together with the nursery school, a crèche, because children love to be told stories and old people love to tell stories. So this is an opportunity also for people to interact. So I think this is what social innovation is about. It's about really going back and saying, what do we as humans need? What have we been deprived of? And is there a way that we can turn these problems that we have and deal with them in a different way, and hopefully bring about a community that is more vibrant and happier.
What do you personally do for this sort of social innovation you just described?
Well, I have right now been working primarily with the Economy for Society and Justice in Portugal, and it's linked to the National Commission of Justice and Peace, so it's part of the Catholic Church. And what we do is we provide, it's not so much in terms of specific projects that I'm working on, but it's more setting the framework for discussion and setting the framework for having such work done. So we organize conferences where we mobilize civil society to think about these options. We are now working, for example, on a program linked to the social economy, where we discuss such issues. So my work at this level is more, let's say, on a theoretical and a conceptual level than it is on a practical